This conference will now be recorded.
Recording in progress.
Okay, hello everyone. Good morning once again. So sorry I couldn't take class yesterday due to some personal work. Uh, on Friday we have discussed all the types of testings and also started other types of testings. We have discussed few. That is smoke and sanity, static dynamic and retesting, regression testing. We have few more. We will discuss them and close this topic and start a new topic. Okay, what is experience based? Any questions from previous class before we get into new topic? Any questions? No? Okay, great. Experience based testing. Okay, name itself is telling, right? Experience based testing. Can anyone tell what is it talking about? Experience. So it's not like I have 10 years of experience in testing field. That is experience based testing. That experience. No. Which type of application, which area of the application, which domain of the application you are testing currently. If you have experience in testing same sort of application, similar sort of application in your previous experience, then you will be selected as a experienced tester, okay, for that program, for that project. Okay, Monica, could you please put your mic on mute, Monica? Okay, so that experienced tester, what he will do, he will do these things. This is one of the, these are one of the test design techniques when you are analyzing the requirement and writing the test cases by identifying different scenarios. This your experience in the past also will help you. Okay, when I was testing similar sort of application in my previous company or previous experience, I tested all these cases. Let me test here also. Then you will write scenarios and test cases for those cases what you tested at the in your previous experience. The similar error guessing, like whatever issues you faced there when you were testing same sort of application, all those error cases you will try to produce here also. So to test that, you need to have test case, right? So you will create whatever errors you faced, whatever defects you identified at the time, all those defect error cases also you will identify and write test cases here, so that you can cover those cases also here in the current application. You're guessing, okay, this kind of errors also may come here also in this application also, because I faced the same things in my previous experience. Like that you are guessing and testing. Okay, so that is what here experience based testing is all about. Okay, so what you are doing, experience testers here, testers who has excuse me, prior experience in testing similar application, tester who has prior experience in testing similar application will explore the explore the current application by navigating through different scenarios, sorry, different screens, and test all the different scenarios that he or she has tested in their previous experience. Okay, so this is what you are going to do as I explained. But when we will go for this kind of testing, normally nowadays whenever you go for interview, they are expecting, so specifically like banking applications testing, or specific e-commerce payments related testing, payment gateways testing, or any, like consider now embedded testing, like where automotive domain related automotive products need to be tested. There, if you simply learn manual testing course and if you go and attend the interviews, they don't select you. Why? Because they need some expertise in that specific area. Then only they will take experienced testers, means not like having 3 years 4 years experience in testing field. That field should be specific to that their requirement. So you might have worked in, you should work in banking domain at that time, then only they will hire for, they will shortlist your resume also for this interview. Some companies may not look that seriously about domain, they will shortlist if you have just testing experience. That is different case. But so most of the companies will look now experience of the testers is having, whether similar sort of experience in testing the same kind of applications in his past experience or not, they will check. Okay, so though that you can use your experience, what you have done in your previous company or previous projects, same knowledge you can use and test the current applications. That's why their intention is that. And another one is they need not to spend lot of time to train you, okay, to give knowledge to you on the application. They need not to spend months of time. Normally any project if you join, minimum they will give 1 month time. Okay, normally. But if you are experienced testers, maybe within a week you may start working on the project activities. Why other companies are minimum 1 month? So they are giving that honeymoon period to you to enjoy, and sorry, not like enjoying means, so don't take pressure, learn smoothly what is going on, adapt the culture, project culture, and also understand different modules in the application, functional knowledge, whatever is required, and how the test cases are being written, how we are executing, what are the different tools we are using. Everything you will learn in that 1 month of period, and then you will be starting your actual work. That is the regular process. Some companies nowadays, they are not giving 1 month of time, they will be giving max to max 1 week or 2 weeks of time. So in that period you need to complete your KT sessions, KT means knowledge transfer sessions from the other guys, and then you need to start your work. Okay, that is different thing. But here expectation is whenever you are, when such critical projects are there, which are ongoing projects, they don't have enough time to let you sit and learn on your own, or go through different training sessions and to understand the domain. They don't have that much time. In that case, they don't hire who is not having relevant experience. They don't hire them. Clear? So that's why you need to have relevant experience to get into this experience based testing. That is one thing why we need to have, why they go for experienced testers. Another important thing when they go for this one is, so when there is no proper documentation about the project. Okay, when there is no proper documentation of the project to get trained also, even the domain is new for everyone, there is no expert to train you also. Okay, then based on every individual's experience in that specific area, they need to understand, analyze, and then start testing. Okay, in such cases they will go for experience based testers. Understand? So this is also very much important interview question, and it is also a test design technique. While you are writing the test cases, this your experience also will help you in identifying different scenarios and write the test cases. Okay, error guessing, what is that? Experienced testers guess the errors in the application, is the errors that they have faced in their previous experience while testing similar sort of application. And test those cases in the current application. This is called error guessing. Okay, understood this experience based testing? Any questions? All of you? No? Harish, Lakshmi, Narendra, is it clear? Okay, moving on. Risk-based testing. Okay, next one is risk-based testing. Name itself is telling something risk, it seems. What is the risk? Risk-based testing. Risk-based. What kind of risks you may face in the project? Tell me. By testing point of view. Testing team point of view, what kind of risks we may face in the project? Delivery got delayed, means development got delayed and the features came very late to you. You have very limited time to complete your testing on time to do the release. That is one thing. Or delivery given on time, but you have all the resources, most of the resources, testing resources went on leave, long leave. You have limited resources. Such kind of risks when you have, you will go for risk-based testing, because you cannot make sure everything tested for sure, right? So what you will do in this case, in certain situations, you will go for risk-based testing, where with the testing team you will figure it out with the help of BAs as well, which are all the risky areas, are important areas for the business, which are going to be used more those areas will be tested first, and if you have enough time before releasing, then you will test the remaining functionalities. Otherwise, you will test only those important functionalities and release the application on time as per the communicated date. You will release the application saying that we have performed risk-based testing and we covered these important areas, and the remaining functionalities this will mentioned below are not covered due to lack of sufficient time. The testing team is still doing the performing the testing on those remaining areas. Will give you update in 1 or 2 days, like that they will mention and release the product. Then your testing team will test it, the remaining functionalities. If they find any defects, they will get it fixed and then they release. So since you found defects, that defects will be there in the higher environment also, UAT environment also. So that means you need to push one more latest code, latest build to the UAT environment, so that you will do sub release. Earlier you released 3.0 version, now 3.1 version you will release and mention that we have completed the testing of the remaining functionalities as well. So we found few defects, that's why we are releasing a new subversion. Please go ahead and test the remaining functionalities as well. Like that we will inform to customer. Then they start testing that remaining functionalities. Why are we telling not to test those other features? If they find the defects, it will become an issue for us. That's why we are clearly telling to them, don't test those specific areas. And then we complete 1 to 2 days testing, and if we don't find any issues, then we just communicate no new release, just we'll tell to them, so we are done with our remaining functionalities testing as well, you can also start testing it, there are no issues, they are working fine. Like that you will send a mail to them. Okay, so that is what risk-based testing is. Whenever there is no sufficient time or resources to do the complete testing, complete functionalities testing, resources, when there is no sufficient time or resources to do the complete functionalities testing before the release, testing team test will prioritize and test only the important and risky areas, the application first, and then go for the remaining functionalities testing. Okay, this is what risk-based testing is. Remaining functionalities testing if the time permits. What you will do otherwise? Otherwise, testing team do the release on time by thoroughly testing those identified important functionalities, features, important functionalities, and otherwise testing team do the release, on time by thoroughly testing those identified important functionalities by communicating to the business on the same, Next, higher environment, on time by communicating the same to the business. Okay, and testing team continue their testing after release, and then confirm to the business. If they find issues, they will do sub release, or if they don't find any issues, they will just inform to them to test the remaining functionalities as well. Clear? That's it then. Okay, moving on. Next, ad hoc testing. What is mean by ad hoc? Anyone? What is mean by ad hoc? Ad hoc testing. Yes, it's a random testing. Very good. What does it mean? Random means. Hmm. Okay, very good. Yeah, answer is almost correct. So, what is Praveen is explaining, before going release, if you have time, after performing all your regular testing, you just do randomly something on the application. It's not for exploring the application, Praveen, but do something to check the behavior of the application. When you do some random things, random means what? Improper steps you will do, not proper, improper actions you will perform on the application. Some random actions which are not without following the procedure defined in the requirement, you do something against to it. If we do against, it may not work. Let it not work, but it should not crash. It should not break. It should not hang. It should not give some unexpected errors like some 504 error or 500 internal server error, or some different errors should not be given. Unexpected errors should not come. Okay, so when you do so, testers will perform random testing on the application. It is a random testing performed by testing team on the application without following the defined procedure of the requirement, procedure of the defined procedure, without following the procedure defined in the requirements. What is the purpose? The major purpose of this testing is to break the application. What does it mean, break the application? Do you want to break it or what? It doesn't mean like you want to. As a tester, our intention will be what? I should find some defects. As a developer, what they will be thinking, whatever I am developing should work for sure. Correct. So as a tester, that's what you are doing. You want to break somehow by finding some loopholes, some issues you want to find. Break the application. That is nothing but identifying, to identify new defects. Okay, so when you will be doing this kind of testing, may happen mostly at the end of once you finish, once all the formal test execution activities are done and the testing team is still having the time to do the release, okay, then you will do this testing. When you still have time to do release, but you completed all your formal test case execution and you are not having different, you identified different scenarios and then that also you tested, but still you have time, then you go for ad hoc testing. Since I am telling here without following the defined procedure, what statement I can, this ad hoc testing may not require something. What is that? You are not following any proper defined procedure. So for that means ad hoc testing may not have what? Very good. Test cases. May not have test cases. May not, I am telling, I am not telling should not, okay? Should not or must not. Some people may capture those improper steps also in the test cases, but mostly ad hoc testing you will be doing randomly without following any test cases. If you are following test cases, that will be a procedure again. So mostly you will not be seeing the test cases for ad hoc testing. It is a random testing we will be doing. Clear? So now how you will be executing this ad hoc testing? Either you do alone, that is ad hoc testing, or you may do more than one person also together may do, like two testers together perform ad hoc testing by exchanging their thoughts. Okay, same here. What is buddy? One tester and one developer. One developer together perform ad hoc testing. So monkey testing, same as whatever I mentioned here. Whenever they ask separately monkey testing, it's a kind of ad hoc testing where tester randomly performs some actions on the application without following the proper steps. Okay, performing random actions on the application without following proper steps. Okay, so these are all different ways, but maybe this pair testing or pair programming words you will be listening in real time. So don't consider when you hear this separately. Hey, your lead may say like, can you please pair up with Ashwin and do the testing? So that is nothing but pair testing. Don't consider at that time it is ad hoc testing. No, it is a big functionality or complex functionality. Your lead intention is, if two people are testing, they can test it by sharing their thoughts differently and they can identify the quality of the feature will be better if you have two eyes, sorry, four eyes instead of two eyes. Okay, that's why maybe he may ask you to pair up with something, then that is also pair testing. Okay, we will use this in generic way also, or it can be used also for ad hoc testing as classification as well. Okay, so some developers also will be doing pair programming. What is pair programming? Two developers together develop one requirement by sharing some tasks. That is also pair programming in order to finish the work soon. Okay, so such things also may happen in the in generic, we may use this word, but this you will not hear. But this also you don't hear, but in interview they may ask. We don't hear this also in real time, but ad hoc testing we will use in real time. See, in your project, okay, when you are raising some defects later on, first thing what your test lead or development manager will be expecting is where is the test case for this defect. Okay, whenever you will raise some defect, do you have any test case for this defect? Why did we miss it? Why development team miss it? Can you show the test case? Then you may say, okay, this is not there in the test case. Oh, then why didn't you analyze at that time? Why didn't you cover in the test case? They may ask you. Then you need to tell, see, every case cannot be covered in the test cases. Some things are, I am doing this as ad hoc, random testing on that feature. So then during that ad hoc testing, I identified this issue. Like that, you need to give answer to them. Okay, they will definitely ask cross questions. Why is it not covered in the test cases? If it is a direct scenario, definitely you need to agree your mistake. It should be there in your test cases. If it is not a direct scenario, then tell him this is not a direct scenario. It is indirect one, ad hoc case. It is, that's why I did not cover in the test case. If they say no, everything should be in the test cases. Yeah, see, according to my knowledge, you need to tell politely. According to my knowledge, for Adhoc testing, we don't capture test cases. But if you really want to capture, I will try to capture it as much as possible. And you talk to your lead or later on. See, if we are enforcing testers like this, like why test case is not there, why this defect is identified, then tester may also feel insecure to log defects when there is no test case for that. So we should not relate it with test case. At least you can ask testers to write test case once defect is identified. But don't tell like why test case was not there already and now why you are identifying defects like that. If you ask, it is kind of threatening the testers in different way. So please understand this one like that. You can tell to your lead, raise your concern. Okay. If you don't ask and if you are listening blindly, then you are digging your uh, pit for you. Okay, that's not good. Okay, you just, whenever you feel process is going wrong, it's nothing wrong in asking polite way. I don't think why everything should be there in test cases. If it is direct scenarios and are negative scenarios which are while analyzing the requirement, anyhow we are covering them. Some cases may not may come in random testing. We do some random testing, so like that you can tell. Okay, but if you don't want to get into any discussion, then be quiet. Okay, any questions on this? No. Okay, next we have globalization testing. Globalization, this is also called as internationalization. Okay, globalization and localization testing. Okay, anyone knows what is globalization, localization for an application? This is a non-functional testing. Okay, it's not a functionality testing. This is non-functional testing on the application. What is all about? Anyone? This application is globalized. This application is localized. Means what you understand? This
Globalization means our application can use in any country, in their own language and
Yes,
according to their business requirements.
very good, Praveen. Yes, globalization means supporting different countries related, different country languages, okay, different global languages. I'm not telling global languages means all the world people should speak. I'm not talking in that way. Different global languages like German, French, Dutch, etc., in order to make the people from different from the respective countries use the application in their language. Why you need to support? Because German people, French people, Dutch people, most of them will not be knowing English. Okay, most of them will not be knowing English. They study in their language. French people write code also in French only. Coding, what they do, C# coding or Java coding, whatever they do, they will do coding also, even though in the software field, they code in French. Okay, so for them, actually, when you are targeting that countries for your business, like currently my application is there, our business is mainly into European countries, but most of the European countries speaks French only and Dutch. They don't know English. That's why we are supporting translations in different global languages like French, Vietnamese, Dutch, okay, all these things, German. Understood? So why it's only to make them use the application in their language. That's it. What is localization then? This is also translation to some different language, but which languages? Regional languages of a specific country, supporting different regional languages of a specific country. Example: Tamil, Telugu, Kannada. Don't consider Hindi. Okay, Hindi is a global language again. Here for our country, Hindi is one of the language, right? So but Indians will not fall into that bucket of like, you know, Hindi must be there too. But in India we consider English only is the global language. That's why most of our applications will be in English only. Okay, so but nowadays applications are getting translated to Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, every language too, in order to attract more people from regional areas. Okay, supporting different regional languages of a specific country is called localization. Okay, so what is this translation means? If you see MS Office is there, which I am using, cut, copy, these are all what? Labels for these buttons, right? These are all what? Menu items, home, insert, page level. These are all, even when you hover on it, bold the text, make the selected text bold, some tooltip it is showing. So these are all things, whatever you are seeing in English, paragraph, font, styles, these are all words what you see in English. When you are selecting specific language from the settings, this all UI will be displayed in that specific language, in French language. You don't see here home, cut, copy and all. It will be translated into French language and French words will be shown here. That is what translation means. Understood? So even this also, when you change the language settings, it will application content will be displayed in the specific language. That is called global translations means. Okay, language translations as part of globalization and localization, it happens. Clear? Next, endurance testing. This is this you should remember. Okay, this will definitely happen in your real time. Definitely your application may support at least 1 or 2 languages. Not 100%, I'm telling, 90% chances are there your application may support some other languages. Then you need to definitely test this globalization or localization, whatever it is, language translations. Okay, next, endurance testing, which is also called as soak testing. Okay, what is this? It is also a non-functional testing. Non-functional testing. What you are going to test here, this what are you going to test? Non-functional testing. Endurance means what? How long? Okay, it is about performance testing only. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll just text to institute. Okay, sorry. So endurance testing or soak testing, this is also a non-functional testing which is mainly about performance. We have seen the performance testing when you have too much of many people are accessing, or when huge amount of data is getting transferred. Okay, so different cases we have tested the performance, right? In similar way, this is also those all about load only, but it was for certain period you might have tested earlier. But this one is not about how long it can sustain with that much of load. You will keep that extreme level of load for longer duration. Sustainability you are going to check in this endurance testing, how long the application can test sustain. Okay, checking the performance of the application by keeping the certain amount of load for a longer duration. In order to check how long the application sustain with the huge load. Okay, that is what endurance testing. You don't do this. Okay, you need not to worry, but just for your information I am explaining this. Okay, we discussed beta testing and all, right? Next, there is one thing which is pilot testing. Pilot testing. What is pilot testing? You will be normally when you are running, I told this one already, right? Well, I was explaining acceptance testing, alpha, beta, gamma. This is pilot testing is nothing but before officially going to a production live environment, the product will be tested in this production environment only for some by certain people. Okay, product will be before going to live with any application. Product business people will ask few identified group of people to test the application with real data in the real-time environment. In the mostly production only, but you don't announce it as officially production environment. You are mostly in production before announcing it. Before announcing it officially. Before announcing it officially, you will ask some group of people to do the testing with real data in the real-time environment. That is, sorry, before going production, they will ask to test. Why? Because the pilot run is successful or not, it is successfully integrated or not. To check that one, they will do this pilot testing. Now if you take, where you will you hear this word pilot run, where you heard this word pilot run is happening? Yeah, that is fine in our discussion, fine, but in real time where you will be hearing this pilot run? Consider government is starting a uh, scheme new scheme. Okay, before they announce officially to the entire state or entire country, what they do, they do a pilot run of that scheme in one of the area or one of the city or one of the district or one of the state. If you consider country central government scheme, it is one of the country or one of the district they may select. Then they run that scheme for some time in that area, and they learn the mistakes, whatever the loopholes in that, and they rectify them, and then build the scheme strong, and then officially announce to entire country. That is one thing. And even when we are starting a new airport, pilot run happened. They tested all the roads constructed in the airport. So pilot run happened. So now everything, green signal came, so we are going to start the airport officially. normal flights will be floating hereafter, like that they announce, right? So that is also pilot testing. Means before doing the actual announcement and launch the actual flight transactions, they do pilot run. Okay, in the similar way, you can apply here also for our application. Before you deploy to the production officially, some people will test it and confirm that integration is happened, the product is deployed properly or not. They test in the real-time environment itself, mostly in production. Okay, that is what pilot testing. When they ask, this happens when this will happen, mostly this will happen after pre-production, after UAT, or you can say UAT, and before production. Okay,
Does it involve any dummy data or everything is real?
everything real data only. All real transactions, what they do in the day to day. Consider if you have a bank application, whatever real-time transactions they are doing in the existing software, all those transactions they will do in the, okay, in the real new application. Okay, it can be sometimes, as I mentioned in the beta testing, it can be done sometimes in the pre-production environment as well. Pre-production environment as well. They will set up something similar to production and then ask those identified group of people to test it with real data, not with dummy data like how we testers test it. No. Okay.
Pre-testing, sir?
No, there is nothing called pre-testing. What do you mean? Can you tell anything? I will try to clear your doubt. What you understood? Pre-testing means, what do you mean? See, it's simple English word, right? Pre-testing means what? Pre-testing, prior to testing.
You said before going live with any product.
Yeah, okay. Pre-production means before. No, now if you say pre-testing, before testing it is. Okay. There is no word as such, okay, in testing, pre-testing and all. Maybe in our general English language we may use they are doing pre-testing, means our developers may do before going for testing. Developers only doing this pre-testing. That way you can tell, but there is no such word in testing. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we are done with these other types. There are many number of other types. Okay, I'm not getting into all those things. It's a waste of time, and even you also need not to learn all other types. If you really interested, then whenever I share the notes, learning notes, in that you will be having many other types also. If you are interested, remaining all are non-functional types, which you will not be asked. Okay, so if you want, you can go through in that notes and let me know if you have any questions on those, if you want to learn. Okay, but this much is enough for us. We covered all the important and what is required for real time and also for interview. Clear? We will start tomorrow SDLC, software development lifecycle. So please, if you have time, please go through internet, who are all involved, what are the documents delivered in that process by different people, what developers generate, what testers generate, what BA generates documents. So you can explore them. Okay, we will discuss tomorrow. Any question before we close for the day? So hereafter we'll get receive recordings only for these people who are attending. Okay, till Friday I was sending to everyone who registered, but today onwards it will be only for you, and if you, it will not be for others, and even if you share to others also, it will not work for them. Okay, that's it then. Thank you very much for attending. Have a nice rest of the day. Speak to you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Recording stopped.
Harish and Lakshmi, could you please send your mail IDs? I missed. Could you please send it again in this message window? Harish and Lakshmi. Harish, Lakshmi, are you there? Space you have given, it's wrong. No space, right, Harish? Harish dot G2 G22.
No
No
space.
space should be there, I hope.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Have you got my mail, sir?
1 second. Yes, Lakshmi. Yeah, you can drop off now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Shall I leave?
Yes, yes, please.
Thank you.
Sir, you got my mail ID?
Yes, yes, Harish, you can also leave. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.